evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Ashley McDowell. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. A summit is being held to address the fiscal challenges brought on by COVID-19. Also tonight, Board of Education members reached a deadlock on negotiations for a loan. And more funding has been added to the Paycheck Protection Program. We have the details. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
We are with you. At times when you need us most, you can count on us to be there. When you need someone to talk to. When you need to stay informed. When you need to brighten your day. When you need to stay connected. We are here keeping our promise that while the world is changing, we keep working so you can keep connecting. We are your Docomo Pacific family, and we are here to help.
Jose and Pedro were born on the very same day. Jose liked to play sports. Pedro liked to play video games. Jose's favorite word was pass. Pass me the ball. Pedro's favorite word was pass too. Pass me the rice. Jose is retired and has both time and energy. His life is just beginning. Pedro has diabetes, hypertension, and gout. His life could soon end. Eat less, play more, live longer. Brought to you by PHI, the pharmacy you can trust.
Off a day, Tirawami, and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. Governor Torres is hosting a summit that will address the fiscal challenges brought upon our islands by COVID-19. Take a listen.
The public school systems board.
So, Governor Torres is hosting a summit in response to the fiscal challenges brought upon by COVID-19. What is this summit and who is involved?
Well, actually, the summit is a response to addressing the synchronized fiscal crisis and trying to reform government to resolve issues that's happening on an annual basis, specific to deficit spending in certain programs. We make sure we either budget for it, make some policy changes, and instead of just doing it from the executive branch, the reason for the summit is the governor would like, and the task force would like to invite all three branches of the government, all sectors in the community, from our business partners, nonprofits, community members, and leaders, getting together and sharing the concerns of the government and what are some of the solutions we can come up as a group. There will be over 60 people participating in two groups. We'll have two groups working with the same issues, and then we're gonna pretty much, after a couple of days, get the two groups' inputs and see what the similarities, what are similar recommended resolutions to resolving some of our fiscal issues. What programs do we recommend to cut, and not just focus on personnel? I know there's that aspect, and there's something we can't get away from. We do need to furlough. We did cut the hours to 64, and we stopped contracts. We paused projects, local funded projects. We pretty much put things on hold until we can get a hold of our finances. So those are things that before the summit, these were ideas that were going to be brought up in the summit. However, we needed to act before we got this group together, before doing the summit. And so the furloughs are a temporary I would just say, situation. So when revenues do come back up, we can bring back these furloughed employees.
You're speaking of PSS?
I'm talking PSS as well, because they do get 25% of our budget. And so if our revenues go up, then we have more money to give to PSS. And they too can bring back their local employees. Our hope is that we resolve our fiscal issues before the new school year for PSS so that they can bring their teachers and administrators back on payroll before the new school year. We're hoping for that. That's what we're driving for. And then this summit will help address how do we get there? What are some of the issues? What are the priorities we should have for this government? And let's focus on those priorities. And here's the new plan, or here's the new government. After the summit is over, the governor will have some issues or some recommendations and some reform ideas that are either something he can do in an executive order, or this needs to go through the legislature.
So what was the proposed budget for fiscal year 2020, and what has it obviously been changed to?
Right, so it was, we started the fiscal year with a $233 million budget, and since February and March, we had two revenue projections negative. The drop in revenues due to COVID-19, zero tourists coming into our Commonwealth. We reduced the budget by a total of 48.1%. We are operating a budget at the $140 million level.
And will all these topics we just discussed, plus more I'm sure, will these be presented in the briefing paper that will be used?
Yes, the briefing paper was given to all the potential participants, asking them that here's the briefing paper of what are some of the things we need to discuss, and we hope that they can join us in discussing some of the issues we've gathered for them to review and think about.
And what are the dates of the summit? I know it's not just one day. When does it start and when does it end? And what are the times?
So it starts on the 23rd. It starts tomorrow morning, I believe, at 9 a.m. And most likely half the day will be going over the briefing paper, going over kind of the rules, going over the two different groups we have and what are their assignment, their goals. And so over the weekend, we look to have kind of like a conclusion or a summary day, possibly most likely Monday or Tuesday, and then wrap this up by Wednesday of next week with the ideas from the two groups that we're putting together, and then where both the governor can make some decisions and the legislature can do and help by drafting or updating current laws or creating new laws to help meet the goals or the suggestions of the summit.
So people in the public are allowed to participate in this, but do they have to register ahead of time?
They will need to register. I believe in the website at ptvt.org, I believe it is. They can register, and they will be informed on times that they can participate, and they can be, or they can have an email that they can email their concerns that will be shared with the two groups. It's going to be a pretty fluid summit because we're not in one place. We're all going to be on Zoom, and they will have resources available to the two groups, meaning when I say resources, they'll have people that can answer their questions on a particular department. So if they have a question regarding public lands, we will have the secretary and her team available to answer all questions, and we'll be honest and truthful for both groups. And you know, the goal of this summit is to come out where we can come up with a realistic solution to not only fixing or working on our financial crisis, but to have a more efficient and effective government.
Negotiations for a loan to pay PSS staff fails after the Board of Education members reached a deadlock for passage. KSPN's Sally Lemus has the story.
Board of Education failed to pass a proposal authorizing Commissioner of Education to negotiate a $3.4 million loan from Mariana's Public Land Trust. During Tuesday's board meeting, BOE members Philip Mandela Long and Andrew Orsini voted yes, while BOE chairwoman Janice Tenorio and Herman Atalik voted no. BOE member Mary Lou Ada was absent. According to PSS legal counsel Tiberius Mocano, the deadlock means there is not a majority to carry the vote forward, whereas the resolution fails. Confusion was amidst those who were in attendance to the meeting. The proposed loan was initially requested by Commissioner of Education Dr. Alfred Ada and BOE chairwoman Janice Tenorio. The original amount requested was $5 million, later reduced to $3.4 million, which was intended to pay locally funded PSS employees about a month's worth of salary. The board resolution is part of the MPLT requirement, which authorizes the commissioner to borrow money and pay it once PSS receives financial aid from the CARES Act. ADA and teacher representative Paul Mura proceeded to ask for an explanation of the votes.
I believe he's asking us to why the members voted the way they did.
Okay, I can start. I don't need to explain myself. I voted no. Thank you. Next. Any board member want to explain? If not, we'll go ahead and continue. We'll go ahead and go into executive.
Madam Chair?
Yes, it is. Okay, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Paul. I'm just confused here. I thought the purpose of this meeting was to get it passed so that we could get the loan and pay our teachers. I'm confused here. What's going on here?
There's nothing going on. There's a motion on floor, and we decided there's a deadlock, so that's it.
This is unbelievable.
So we move on.
With all due respect. You turn your back on our teachers and our employees.
Thank you. Go ahead, Valerie.
Late Tuesday evening, BOE members Janice Tenor and Herman Atalik released a statement as to why they voted against the borrowing of money. In their letter, they explain how the CDA MPLT is against the law and states MPLT Chairman Martin Ada communicated with Tenorio earlier that day, stating their position with the PSS loan. Ending their statement, Tenorio and Atalik says, "This is because of our own doing," explaining that PSS has blocked off any help from the CNMI government since the injunction was filed. Earlier today, the Commissioner of Education sent a letter to all PSS employees asking them to read the rationale, give them another chance to explain during the scheduled meeting for today, and make their own judgment. ADA has also proposed to postpone the injunction until next year and use this time to collaborate with the governor's team to come up with a financial relief plan. Reporting for KSPN.
In Washington, D.C., more funding has been added to the Paycheck Protection Program that is established in the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act. According to a release from Congressman Gregorio Khalili-Sablan, $310 billion has been added to the Paycheck Protection Program that is established in the CARES Act. Congressman says the original $350 billion for PPP was used up last week, where 56 applicants in the Marianas were awarded loans that equals to $12.6 million. But there are still applicants that are awaiting approval because the funds were used up. The Paycheck Protection Program is run by the Small Business Administration and provides loans to allow nonprofits and businesses with 500 employees or less to keep paying staff, even when the business is shut down. Recipients of the loan who keep staff on payroll for 8 weeks may have the loan converted to a grant. Of the $310 billion, $75 billion will go to help with the coronavirus-related expenses for hospitals and healthcare providers, and $25 billion will be secured for testing. The Senate is expected to vote today and the House on Thursday. Congressman Sablan says, quote, businesses and nonprofit organizations that applied too late for the first round of funding should prepare now to apply for round 2. These are first-come, first-served monies, and we have already seen how strong the demand is, so get ready, end quote. The Department of Public Safety is seeking your help in getting information relating to an auto burglary that occurred Monday. Around 4:45 p.m. on Monday, April 20th, DPS officers were called to Objon for an auto burglary incident that occurred at the Ladder Beach parking lot. When officers arrived, they noticed a broken driver's side window. The caller stated the car was parked for about an hour. The caller stated items missing include a black-colored sling bag purse, a black wallet, a Korean driver's license, and $80 in cash. If you or someone you know has information on the burglary, call 911. Or to remain anonymous, call the Sinamai Crime Stoppers at 234-7272. Up to $1,000 is paid for any information that leads to an arrest. Coming up, a special online seminar is being held this weekend to give help to those in need during these challenging times. And it's free. Find out more after the break.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. Hi, my love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Mom, are you sure? What about the shutters? And do you have your medicine?
Don't worry about us, love, okay? You take good care of yourself. Hi, my love. Yeah, sorry. The power went out, so I had to light up all the candles. Yeah. Yes, baby, yeah. I'm just glad our home phone's working and we're able to contact you.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. An online seminar will be occurring this weekend for those who need help with grief during this trying time. Here are the details. Today's seminar, a way of providing physical and mental help to those in need during these challenging times.
It's dedicated to really put yourself first and your needs first, especially in the time of the pandemic. So it's half physical wellness, which is led by my friend who's a trainer in LA. And then the other half, I do the wellness. So I talk about things that will help you physically wellness and mentally as well. So like last week, I just did a talk on how to get better sleep, because I know that a lot of people are tossing and turning at night. And so just topics like that to better your well-being.
This seminar is usually held on Saturdays out of California, but this weekend a special time has been scheduled to include those that live here in the Sinamai, and a special fundraiser will be included to raise funds for those in need in the Sinamai as well.
So this one, so we did a fundraising one. The trainer who's on the call with me, she's in philanthropy too. She likes to give back to the community, and she's based out of LA. So she did a nonprofit in LA. So this upcoming one, of course, naturally, I'm going to do Saipan. So I chose Saipan, and typically we do it in the morning on Saturdays. Unfortunately, her schedule, she's still working full time, so in her schedule, she can only do mornings California time. And so I asked her if she can make this one, since we're fundraising for Saipan and people back home, if she can push it out later into the afternoon so they can join, because I've had some emails from people from back home asking to join in on it because, you know, it's the time difference. And so I've just been sending emails and recorded talks of mine to those who ask about it. So now this one is really special because it's going to be California and back home.
The fundraiser is called Meals for the Marianas, where 100% of the funds raised will be donated to Care.Saipan.
So the donation portion, we did it optional. Because we don't want to pressure people to donate. We still want people to attend. So if people can't donate and still want to attend, we don't want to put that pressure. And so we're taking 100% of the donations. And then me and my mom, we actually just exceeded. So I wanted to match 500. We exceeded that already. We're at like 850 right now, which is so crazy on the second day. So my mom wants to match another 500. So collectively, we're going to match 1,000. And so we're going to take 100% of that, and then we're going to give it to Care.Saipan, which I'm very excited about. And I've been in talks with them because I've been trying to figure out where I can give it to, where it'll go directly to the people. And I know they have a directory of people in need, so it was really perfect.
The seminar will be Saturday, 5:30 p.m. California Pacific Time, and 10:30 a.m. this Sunday for the CNMI, making it a self-care Sunday. Asia says the seminar usually runs about an hour and 15 minutes, but individuals can tune in for as much or as little as needed.
So we do meditation in the beginning, just mindfulness. It's not towards anything. So it's mindfulness, and then warm up, and then the actual high intensity workout, and then the wellness talk. And also for the workout, it's good to note that you can turn your camera off. So we're all on Zoom, but you can turn your camera off. And she gives the option to turn your camera on because she can correct your form. If people don't work out, I try to say this on my social media, if people, they're not the type to work out, they can turn their camera off and wait for my portion. And so I don't want anyone to feel pressured because, I mean, she's a trainer, so she's going to train, she's going to work your body. So if anyone wants to join in on just the meditation, cut their camera off, and then we're making it open. It's like very no pressure session.
There are two ways of signing up. One for those who want to donate and do the seminar, and one for those who just want to participate in the free seminar.
There's two links. So one is the Eventbrite, and if you make a donation, it'll send you all the Zoom links leading up and all the information like what you need. And then there's a separate link because unfortunately Eventbrite doesn't do, I try to do the option like if someone can't donate, they still can register, and they didn't have that option. So I have a separate link for people who want to join but can't donate.
Asia was born and raised on Saipan up to the age of 12, but states Saipan is a place she will always call home.
I'm very proud of where I'm from because, I was just talking to someone else who is American, and I was trying to explain to him, the land that I grew up on, that's where my ancestors roamed. Like, they were walking the same roads and the same land as me, so it brings an amount of pride for my group of islands that I don't think a lot of people can really grasp, and so that's why I just do everything for Oh man, it gets me emotional.
Reporting for KSPN, I'm Ashley McDowell. McDonald's is giving free meals to first responders to say thank you for your service. Take a listen. It comes in a Happy Meal box, it's for first responders, and it's free. It's the Thank You Meal box provided by McDonald's.
For first responders, what we're providing is our thank you meals. So it's a very, it's a small token of our appreciation. And what this is basically, we're offering 6 different thank you meals. So 3 thank you meals options for breakfast, and then 3 thank you meal options for lunch and dinner for all of the first responders, so frontliners, so to speak. And these include healthcare workers, that's doctors and nurses, firefighters, and then policemen throughout Saipan, and then also on Guam.
The meals are completely free, where from April 22nd to May 5th, the first responders can pick up either breakfast or lunch during operational hours.
What they can do is come and visit us in the restaurant, so they can come in the store and take out, or they can go through the drive-thru and then just mention that they'd like to get a thank you meal, and then be able to present their badge or ID, and or they can come in with their uniform, and then we'll be able to present them with a free thank you meal then.
Glenn says first responders can come in once a week or every day to redeem their thank you meal, a way of saying thank you for putting yourself on the line to serve our islands, our community, and our health.
On behalf of McDonald's of Guam and Saipan, owner-operators Jose and Marcia Zuzu really want to thank all frontliners throughout the Mariana Islands, and especially here on Saipan, for everything that they do for the community. And then most especially, thank you to all of our hardworking crew and managers that really come together to bring this campaign to life here on Saipan. So, and then just as a side note, this is a national campaign that is celebrated all throughout each McDonald's restaurant in the United States. So it's really an amazing campaign. And, without hesitation, our owner-operators really wanted to jump on this opportunity and just express our huge gratitude to everybody on the front line.
Stay tuned because coming up after the break is your weather report.
We are with you. At times when you need us most, you can count on us to be there. When you need someone to talk to, when you need to stay informed, when you need to brighten your day, when you need to stay connected. We are here keeping our promise that while the world is changing, we keep working so you can keep connecting. We are your Docomo Pacific family, and we are here to help.
Half a day, I'm Dr. Dennis Williams, eye surgeon and physician at the Marianas Eye Institute.
Eye twitching is a repetitive, uncontrollable blinking or spasm of the eyelid, usually the upper lid.
It's been my experience that they can occur at any time depending upon what the cause is. Obviously, if at the end of the day, if you're more tired or you've had a stressful day, you could get those twitchings of the upper eyelid.
Many people develop a minor eyelid twitch at some point in their lives. It may be associated with fatigue, stress, or caffeine. In some cases, eye twitching is more than a temporary nuisance.
The other kind is much more severe and much more rare, in which the eyes actually clamp tightly closed. And those particular kinds of situations require injections to relax the muscles.
Many eye issues can be treated right here on Saipan. Come see for yourself.
This has been Dr. Dennis Williams of the Marianas Eye Institute.
My family is on whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Since we installed the Docomo whole home Wi-Fi, what did you guys notice about it?
when you pull up the driveway, it automatically connects, and I don't have to get out of my car right away and come upstairs to go on my phone.
My favorite thing is that it doesn't buffer when I'm watching YouTube.
My favorite thing is that when Addie calls now, there's no lag. Like before, it used to be where I couldn't see her sometimes and I have to hang up and then call her back, and now I don't have to do that.
You know what's a good thing too is that when you come over to visit, I could give you your own password. I can assign a time limit so that I can say that you can only be on it for 1 hour, so that means you won't get in trouble from your mom.
And then you can go home.
The thing that I love the most is that I can freeze the internet for periods of time so that we can enjoy dinner time like this. Why are you rolling your eyes? So I'll turn it back on after dinner.
Whole home Wi-Fi powered by Plume. Docomo Pacific, better together.
And here is your weather report. Today we had a high of 90, a low of 79, 60% humidity. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with isolated light showers, east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 89, a low of 77. Seas 3 to 5 feet, high tide 7:29 a.m., low tide 1:40 a.m. Sunrise is at 5:58 a.m. and sunset is at 6:33 p.m. Thank you for watching the KSPN2 News. Have a great and safe rest of your evening.